Hello everyone, my name is Yuka Indra Prasetya, and today I'm going to talk about 3 research papers about speaking. The first research paper is Improving Students' Descriptive Speaking Competence by Using Cue Cards at the Grade 8 of Public Junior High School 3 Bengkulu City. The author name are Ruri Ariati and Syahrial from Journal University of Bengkulu. Research objectives of this research are to find out whether cue cards can improve students' descriptive speaking competence in grade 8 of SMP and 3 Bengkulu City, and to determine the factors those influence the improving students' descriptive speaking competence. Research methodology. The participants of the research were students of second grade or grade 8 of SMP and 3 Bengkulu in academic year 2011. The participants were 36 students, consist of 17 male students and 19 female students. Instruments of this research consisted of test, observation checklist, field notes, and interview. Procedure of the research. This study followed the form of classroom action research. The cycles were divided into 4 steps. The steps are planning, action, observation, and reflection. Number 1 is planning. In planning, information about students' difficulties in learning English was taken, instruments and lesson plans were prepared. Number 2, action. Pre-activity. Students discuss about the descriptive material, such as the characteristic and generic structure of descriptive text, and then teacher divided the students into groups of 5 and work in group for the entire treatment. Main activity. Students must discuss the cue card and try to describe the object on the cue cards. And then closing activity. Teachers strengthened the important points of the study. Students were asked to answer several questions related to the material given that day. Both teacher and students also shared the difficulties for students along the teaching and learning process. Number 3, observation. In this section, collaborator critically checked whether teacher followed the steps in the lesson plans and took notes on teachers' and students' behavior. When some items were not stated in checklist observation, collaborator could write down in the field notes. Number 4, reflection. In this section, this section describes the results and effect of every step in the action phase. Those steps could cover the strength or weakness happened on each step of action. Then those results gathered by researcher and collaborator were compared. The results of students' tests after cue cards treatment also became the indicator to measure the successful of the research. Observation was important as the basic step to lead the next cycles. And then for the data collection, this research used 2 different cycles. In cycle 1, the teacher didn't use much English in his teaching, and the cue cards were about things around you, family, classroom activities, and daily activities. And in cycle 2, the teacher used English more often than in cycle 1, and the cue card themes were about classroom activities and daily activities. The result showed that 56% of students were improved in descriptive speaking competence, and this media can give even opportunity to practice and develop students' descriptive speaking competence. In implementation of cue cards in speaking class proved that students became active and interested in speaking English. So the result, after conducting the research, researcher was able to clarify that using the cue cards is able to improve student descriptive speaking competence with certain condition and progress. And then the next research is improving student speaking ability through debate in the classroom. The author is Emi Elmiati from International Journal of Multicultural and Multireligious Understanding. Research objective of this research is to investigate the improvement student speaking ability through debate in the classroom and to investigate the students' response toward the use of debate in teaching speaking. Research methodology in this study is adopted a quasi-experimental design In the experimental group, given effect of specific treatment while the control groups are not given. And then the research process is running and observing determine the difference of the result comparison. This procedure is conducted 3 stages in giving tasks to the student. The first stage is to test the initial or pre-test at 30 students as a control group to determine the ability of students to start speaking without using the method of debate. Then, the second stage is to provide treatment through debate method with 30 students as the experimental group. And the third stage is the final stage, which provides a post-test phase by giving the last test through the implementation of strategy debate to know the end result of achievement of speaking ability students through strategy debate itself. To take score of debate using the components of debate test, there are style of presentation, organization of arguments, use of information, and strength of argument. Components of speaking test includes accent, grammar, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. And then from the data analysis, the score respondents are 82 and 82.67%. It means that debates have positive response and very significant in teaching speaking. It corresponds with theory of school 2007 stated that debate has a medium to improve understanding new knowledge and able to lead people working together into group to solve problems. Also, they can improve speaking and listening skills through controversial arguments. And then the result, based on the result of the study, concludes that debate method have a great contribution to improve students' speaking ability. It has been proved by comparing through deviation score, pre-test and post-test experimental class. It shows that the treatment successful. And the last is using mobile phone to overcome students' anxiety in speaking English. The author were Carmila Mahmud and Ridwan Abdullah from the journal SHS Web of Conference. Research objective of this research is to discover whether the use of mobile phone can minimize student anxiety in speaking English and can improve their speaking skill. For the research methodology, the method of this study is experimental method. In conducting this study, the researcher used quasi-experiment. It is the development study of true experiment design. This study was conducted at 7th grade students of SMP Negeri 1 Anggrek academic year 2015. 63 participants were given the questionnaire of foreign language anxiety classroom scale to determine their level of anxiety. The results were 20 students who were grouped into anxiety students and 20 students as low anxiety students. A number of 13 students who fell into medium anxiety category were not selected for the experiment. The high and low anxiety groups were then given oral tests to measure their speaking ability. The design of this study was 2-on-2 factorial design. The independent variable was mobile phone application, label A1, and conventional teaching, label A2, while the attribute variable was anxiety involved high anxiety, label B1, and low anxiety, label B2. The collaborator who was equipped with those research instruments observed the researcher and the students in teaching and learning activity during the implementation of the technique. The design of action research used in this study is a cyclical process. It consists of 4 main steps: planning, action, observation, and reflection. And then from the data collection, describe that the data of the student learning achievement in speaking English after being taught by using mobile phone. The data are presented in 8 groups as follows. Number 1, the data of student learning achievement in English speaking who were taught by using mobile phone, label A1. And then number 2, the data of student learning achievement in speaking English who were taught by using conventional teaching, label A2. And then number 3, the data of students learning achievement in speaking English who have high anxiety, label B1. And then the data of students learning achievement in speaking English who have low anxiety, label B2. Number 5, the data of students learning achievement in speaking English who have high anxiety thought by using mobile phone, label A1, B1. And then the data of student learning achievement in speaking English who have low anxiety thought by using mobile phone, label A1, B2. And number 7, the data of students learning achievement in speaking English who have high anxiety thought by using conventional teaching, label A2, B1. And the last, number 8, the data of students' anxiety in speaking English who have low anxiety thought using conventional teaching, label A2, B2. The data that was obtained in this study can be seen further from the table 1. And in data analysis, there are 4 aspects that is being analyzed. The first, number 1, is students learning achievement in speaking English who are taught by using mobile phone application and conventional teaching. The students learning achievement in speaking English who were taught by using mobile phone application is higher than students speaking English who were taught by conventional teaching. It means that using mobile phone application has a better influence towards students speaking English than using conventional teaching. Number 2, interaction between the model of teaching and student anxiety level towards students speaking English. Using mobile phone application in English teaching and learning process, especially in teaching speaking, entices the student to perform the competence to communicate their idea. Number 3, the learning achievement of students who have high anxiety in speaking English and were taught by using mobile phone application and by conventional teaching. The students learning achievement in speaking English who have high anxiety and taught by using mobile phone application got higher score than the student who were taught by conventional teaching technique. It means that there is a difference of students learning achievement in speaking English between those taught by using mobile phone application and those who were taught by using conventional teaching. And number 4, the learning achievement of students who have low anxiety in speaking English and were taught by using mobile phone application and conventional teaching. The English speaking achievement of the students who have low anxiety and taught by using mobile phone application were higher than achievement of the students taught by using conventional teaching technique. It means that there is a difference of student anxiety in speaking English between students who were taught by using mobile phone application and students who were taught by using conventional teaching technique. In the result, based on the finding and discussion presented, it can be concluded that first, there is a difference of students' learning achievement in speaking English where they are taught by using a mobile phone. And second, students who have high anxiety tend to achieve higher score when they were taught by using mobile phone. And the last, even students who have low anxiety tend to obtain higher learning achievement when they were taught by using mobile phone. Okay, that's free research paper about speaking from me. Thank you.